You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Monday, 11th day of November 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. Now, the first live broadcast, that one's private. It's for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you haven't taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. And at the top of the page, there's a link. Click it, fill out the registration form, hit submit. We'll get your indicators indicating today. Your trial will officially start tomorrow, but not to worry, it will continue through next Monday. So you get 5 consecutive trading days. In fact, when Michael comes on in about 50 minutes, he will walk you through the entire process. Now, here's the deal. When the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and then we come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's 2 different ways you can join the afternoon broadcast live. The best way, I'll give you that first. You only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click that link, fill out that 30-second registration form, and you're done. Not only will it log you into our platform the same day, but going forward, every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. In that email, there will be a link. So, at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it'll automatically log you into our platform. Of course, there's going to be days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy, can't join live, but want to catch up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. Christian Financial Radio Network. But all you have to remember is CFRN because you already know the YouTube part. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live or simulcast live every trading day, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast on our YouTube channel. Currently, there's over 2,600 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are, and you can actually see how we've evolved over the years. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, but just pick a few days at random and watch a little bit, and pick another day, another year, watch a little bit. It will really help you get to know who we are, what we're all about, how we do what we do, and even why we do what we do. youtube.com/CFRN. Now, our daily schedule starts with our devotional, word of prayer, some news, a recap of the alerts, the Logic 247, and the concierge trade alerts. And then about 50 minutes into the broadcast, Michael will join us. He'll give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. Then we'll do some live trading on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes from about 1 to 1:30. And then I'll wrap everything up with our good word for the day. Now, we are starting a new devotional topic today called Average Joe. Our scripture today is Psalm 34, verse 18. And I'm going to share that with you from the Message translation. If your heart is broken, you'll find God right there. If you're kicked in the gut, He'll help you catch your breath. Psalm 34, verse 18. Now, this devotional topic is going to run 7 days, so this is day 1 of 7. Average Joe tells the unwavering true story of Coach Joe Kennedy, a high school football coach who gained national attention when he was fired for his practice of praying at midfield after every game. What began as a simple gesture of faith and gratitude became a point of intense legal and societal contention. When Coach Joe refused to be silenced or compromised, his story became a powerful example of standing firm in faith amidst opposition. His journey, much like the spiritual battles that many believers face, highlights the importance of commitment, integrity, and perseverance. In Average Joe, we see the reality of spiritual warfare, where our conflict is not against societal or legal systems, but a deeper struggle. This aligns clearly with the words of the Apostle Paul in Ephesians 6:12. While Coach Joe's immediate challenge involved public scrutiny and legal disputes, the larger battle was one of faith, standing against spiritual opposition that sought to suppress the expression of his relationship with God. So over the next few days, we will unpack not only the narrative of Coach Joe's journey, but also the broader implications for Christians today. How do we remain steadfast in our faith when faced with external pressures? How do we navigate the tension between public life and private faith? And what can we learn from Coach Joe's perseverance in holding to his convictions despite the cost? The story of Coach Joe has actually been turned into a movie. You may have seen the movie God's Not Dead, or perhaps The Blind. Well, this movie, Average Joe, comes from the same director and producers of those two very famous Christian movies. So, day one is a rough start. Growing up, Joe faced intense rejection and instability. His early school years were filled with frequent fights, detentions, and expulsions. Joe's adoptive parents provided food and shelter, but little emotional support or connection. The only bright spot in Joe's life was his next-door neighbor, Denise. He fell in love with her at first sight at the age of 9, and they bonded over their traumatic home lives. Denise introduced Joe to the concept of prayer, and even though he wasn't sure about God, Joe knew there was something special about Denise. Unwanted and unloved, Joe was sent away by his adoptive parents to live at an all-boys home. When Joe tried to return home, he found the door locked. A neighbor revealed that his family had moved, leaving him feeling even more abandoned. With nowhere else to go, Joe returned to the all-boys home, ready to keep fighting his way through life. One of the leaders could see the pain in Joe's eyes, and using the example of an ugly but surviving tree, the older man shared, God doesn't make throwaways. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with humility and trust, holding fast to your word. We thank you for being near to us in every moment, especially in times of need. Your presence is our comfort, and your love is our strength. Lord, we lift up our nation to you, asking for unity, peace, and guidance. We pray that you would place a hedge of protection around our new president, Donald J. Trump. Grant him wisdom, discernment, and courage as he leads our nation, one nation under God. May your hand be upon him, guiding his decisions for the good of the people and in accordance with your will. Surround him with wise and godly counsel, and strengthen him for the challenges ahead. May your peace cover our land, and may your spirit move across our nation like a mighty wave, bringing healing and hope. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen, and happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend, because we're about to have a good week. Now the markets, these are not normal market conditions, okay? When will things get back to normal? Well, we'll see. Is it possible that we have a new normal? I'm not going to go that far. But let me tell you where we're at across the globe. These are the numbers from around the world. We're starting here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. The Dow's up 361 points, almost 1%. The NASDAQ is down 15 points. S&P 500 is up 12. Our man in the street, the Russell 2000, is up 39 points, which is a little over 1.5%. In the commodity basket, crude oil down $2.10, trading 68.28 last. That's a drop of almost 3%. Gold, all I can do is give you the number. Gold down $72.70, trading 26.2210 last. That's a drop of 2.75%. Silver down 78 cents, trading 30.66 last. That's a drop of 2.5%. Well over $2,500 per contract traded. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei gained 32 points, the Shanghai rose 17, but the Hang Seng fell 301, which is basically 1.5%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 52, the DAX up 233, 1.25%. The CAC up 88, also 1.25%. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. And it's a mixed Radio Monday here in the US of A. We got 3 of the major indices in the green, only one in the red. That's the NASDAQ, and it's only down by 16 points. Make that 13 points. Based on the strength of the Russell, I think we'll see all 4 of the major indices green within the next hour. Okay, with that, let's hop to the news. It is Veterans Day, and I'd like to take a moment to honor each and every one of you, every man and every woman who selfishly gave your life for your country. Some didn't make it back home. So we're thankful for everyone who was willing to go. You may have put on the uniform and never had to leave the U.S. That's okay. You took the oath. You were willing to go. And of course, we pray for the families of those who did not make it back home. And we pray for those who came back, well, not in the same condition they left. There are 15.8 million veterans alive in the U.S. today, a figure representing 6.1% of the adult U.S. population. Veterans have served during wartime and in peacetime, with roughly 1/3 having served in the Vietnam War, 1/4 in the Gulf War, and 28% serving since 9/11. The world's largest semiconductor maker, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, will pause shipments of its most advanced computer chips to China in response to concerns from U.S. regulators. The move follows the discovery of its products and devices made by Huawei, a Chinese telecom giant currently under U.S. sanctions. By some estimates, TSMC produces over 90% of the world's most advanced computer chips, which power everything from the latest smartphones to AI applications. Many technology companies, including Apple, Nvidia, Qualcomm, and more, outsource production of these critical components to TSMC. Analysts say the restrictions could impact a wide range of non-sanctioned Chinese companies beyond Huawei. He's been elected, but he's not yet been inaugurated. We already prayed for God's hedge of protection around him, but I want to add his security team. because we all know there's been some funny business going on there here of late. So, I mean, China already, Taiwan getting in line. The president hasn't even been inaugurated yet. And world leaders are starting to change their stance, get in line, because they know we now have a president who doesn't just make campaign promises, but follows through with what he says he's going to do. Russia and Ukraine exchanged unprecedented drone attacks over the weekend. Ukraine carried out its broadest drone attack on Moscow, firing more than 30 drones per Russian officials, wounding one person and temporarily forcing 3 airports to shut down. Russia in turn fired 145 drones into Ukraine per Ukrainian officials, an unprecedented number for a single night. The news comes as UK's defense minister says Russia suffered its highest number of casualties from the war last month, averaging 1,500 Russian soldiers killed or wounded daily, and bringing the number of Russian casualties to roughly 700,000 people. All this over a little piece of land. The news comes as around 50,000 Russian and North Korean soldiers amassed in Russia's Kursk region, per U.S. and Ukrainian officials, and as Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a mutual defense treaty with North Korea into law Saturday. A Russian counteroffensive to retake Ukrainian seized territory in Kursk is expected in the coming days. Well, Trump has already spoken with Zelensky and Putin, and Trump promised that he would put an end to this war one way or another. So now we'll just have to wait and see how he does it, how he orchestrates it. On to the market news before we go to the charts. The House of Representatives is likely to be under GOP rule next year, cementing Republicans' unified control of power across Washington. The political trifecta. That's when you have the Oval Office, the Senate, and the House. The party currently needs just 4 seats to maintain its lower chamber majority, and current vote totals show Republicans ahead in 8 of the 18 still undecided contests. All this drama, just count the votes. Come on, it can't be that hard. American Idol does it during a commercial break. The Dow surged today to build on a roaring post-election rally, but the Nasdaq struggled as the Trump trade took the spotlight in markets, with shares of Tesla jumping for a 5th straight session. Now Trump 2.0 complicates Jay Powell's rate path at the Fed. Jerome Powell made it very clear last week that he didn't think Donald Trump had the power to fire him, even if he wanted to. But there was one aspect of Trump's return to the White House that he was willing to leave as a mystery: how Trump's proposed economic policies might affect the Fed's expectations for a series of additional rate cuts in 2025. There is nothing to model right now, Powell told reporters last week. Economists say Trump's combination of proposed across-the-board tariffs, tax cuts, and mass deportations of undocumented immigrants would put new pressure on inflation and balloon the deficit, all of which will make it more challenging for the Fed to cut rates. We'll see. We shall see. MicroStrategy in the news today. That's MSTR, Mr., as we call it on the show. MicroStrategy just bought about 27,200 Bitcoin for around $2.03 billion, the largest purchase by the crypto hedge fund proxy since just after it began acquiring the digital asset more than 4 years ago. And you heard it here first. The enterprise software maker, whose corporate strategy now includes buying Bitcoin, bought the tokens between October 31st and November 10th, according to a statement issued today. It's the largest amount of tokens purchased since the firm announced in December 2020 that it snapped up 29,646 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, he's going down in the history books, one way or the other. Digital assets such as Bitcoin could be poised for greatness under Trump, with Wall Street wonderkind Nvidia in a good position to benefit. EMJ Capital founder Eric Jackson told Yahoo Finance, "I think there are a lot of ways that the government could show support for crypto over the next few months. Trump's talking about doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve is very bullish as an underlying bid for that currency. To that end, Bitcoin topped 80,000 for the first time on Sunday as its bullish run post-election day continues. The price of Bitcoin has rallied 15% in the past 5 days. I think we tapped 85,000 last night or today. And our last piece of market news from Mattel. Yes, Mattel, the toy company. Toy giant Mattel says it deeply, and they're not down by much. Toy giant Mattel says it deeply regrets an error on the packaging of its Wicked movie-themed dolls. Okay, there's a movie called Wicked, and Mattel created some dolls to go along with the movie, which mistakenly, the packaging, it's got, I don't know whether it's a QR code or just a link, but it mistakenly links toy buyers to a pornographic website. The error gained attention on social media over the weekend, where numerous users shared photos of the URL printed on the back of the boxes for the special edition dolls, which feature characters from the movie adaptation of Wicked, set to hit theaters later this month. Instead of linking to Universal Pictures' official wickedmovie.com page, the website listed leads to an adult film site that requires consumers to be 18 or over to enter. In a statement sent to the Associated Press, Mattel said it was made aware of the misprint on the packaging of the Wicked dolls, which it said are primarily sold in the U.S. We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Well, cat's already out of the bag, but any further shipments will be corrected. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's do this. Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. It's not just E-minis, it's also crude, gold, silver, bonds. We're currently in week 328. Over the last 328 weeks, we've issued over 18,300 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, Valerie did this recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Since then, some things have changed, and I've issued some additional alerts. But at the time she did the recap, since the market opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, up until the time she did the recap, there was 10 alerts issued, still waiting on the outcome of 5. That gave us 5 actionable alerts, of which 1 or 20% would have been stopped out. Again, based on market structure and that very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, last week we ended up, let me find it real quick. Last week we ended up with a total of 77 alerts issued for the entire week. 18 never triggered. That gave us 59 actionable alerts, of which 9 or 15% would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Long before we had the logic alerts, we had the CTAs, the concierge trade alerts. They're different. If you're a member or trial member, read this information because it's very important. If you have questions, be sure to ask me. All of our members had every one of these targets last night, 25 minutes after the open. ES, the Dow, the Russell, crude, gold, silver, bonds. Now, the logic alerts, yes, you can trade them, but that's not the reason I create them. I create them so that you learn how to read a chart. If you want to learn how to trade, it's going to be very difficult until you learn how to read a chart. The logic alerts teach you how to look at a 30-minute chart and know where to expect resistance, where to expect support, and how to find windows of opportunity. So again, you can trade them, right? Okay. But remember, that's not the reason I create them. I create them to help you learn how to read the chart. And once you learn how to read a chart, you can trade anything, anywhere, and it's something no one can ever take away from you. So again, all members and trial members had these targets last night, 25 minutes after the open. So let's go to the daily chart, where we start every day and where we have a new all-time historic high. The new high is 60.53 and a quarter. Let's see how close we can get to that. 60.53. It's hard. Oh, I got 52.5, so we're 3 ticks off. Beautiful. Okay, so we've overcome the 62% fib extension. Got a new all-time historic high. Up here is the 100% fib extension. Now, the green line, it's called the BBC. It stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. Lower prices, higher prices, lower prices, higher prices. Now, the way this is starting to look, we may be heading into a rounding top, but we won't get ahead of ourselves. We'll see what happens. We're just now getting the bullish cross. So if we were to get a retracement, this area right here, I mean, we've got these areas on the way down and the daily BBC, but the real support will be here right at the bullish cross. Okay. Now, why look at a daily chart? I'll tell you why. Institutional traders, they have massive account size and they trade in massive size. They are the ones who move price. You and I were just liquidity. But that's okay. We can still make money. But no matter what you trade, whether it's futures or stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs, if you'll make it a part of your daily routine to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you go to your smaller time frames to actually start trading, I think you'll see your trading results improve over time. What you're doing is you're getting a look over the shoulder, a free look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that move price. Now we can see what happened since the markets opened last night. We ended up with a doji straddling the 62% fib extension on Friday. So last night we run up and put in that new high. But what's happened since then? We've sold off. We're almost back to the 62. Now on the way up to 62 is resistance. As we pull back, it's potential support. So by spending 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever you trade, not only you're able to see what the deep pocket professionals are doing, but you're able to identify where major areas of support and resistance are, things that you can't see on the smaller time frames. Now, it was a pretty quiet session so far for the ES. We had a slight gap higher last night. Now, this is today, Monday, which began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 1800 hours. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, okay? So we opened with a gap higher open, and then we had a little pullback, and then we did our best to get to the long target, but the market just didn't have enough. We got to 60, 53 and a quarter. So we missed it by roughly 6 points. Now we're below the BBC and we have red and falling overhead. See, on the way up we had blue and climbing. That's now changed to red and falling. Where should we expect support? Oh, these are last week's weekly trading zones. Why? Because all alerts that go out on Sunday night are based on the previous week's zones. Because the new zones don't come out till Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. But once the new zones come out Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. So on tomorrow's broadcast, you will see this week's zones on my charts. But everything last night was based on the previous week's zones, and most of the markets were above last week's highest weekly trading zone because of all the bullish energy we had from the election. So if we can take out this low right here, then we've got a window of opportunity down to this low, down to this low, and then you'll notice that the short target is right at this bullish cross. When you have a bullish cross, that's when the blue line gets above the green line. That leads to an extended move. The first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. So that's what I'm looking for and anticipating, is a market drop down to this area here, possibly by the close of the session. The Dow, here's where we opened last night. We're above the BBC, so we expect higher prices, but we had to overcome red and falling, and once that became blue and climbing, it took us right to the target. Then through the target, then we had a pull back to the target, and as I've explained, when you trade above a long target and pull back to it, it will often become support. Now that target was based on Friday's high, okay? And the low down here, it's based on these lows right here. But you should keep in mind that there is a bullish cross down here. kind of crowded up. Let me see if I can open it up a little bit. Yeah, that's a little easier to see. So the step line has crossed, the black line has crossed blue and climbing. So we expect to drop to the BBC. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green, and we call it the BBC, bull, bear, cross. Bullish above it, bearish below it. Okay. And again, these are last week's zones. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009. So this December, it's going to mark 15 years that we've provided our members and trial members with the weekly trading zones each and every week. And they serve as a great playing field, if you will, for the entire week. Let's say you're at a football game, you're sitting at the 50-yard line. You look to the left, you got the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the end zone. Look to the right, you got the same thing. Basically, that's what the weekly zones do. They show you Monday morning over the coming week where you should find support and resistance. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance. When it drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. But of course, we're way above last week's highest weekly zone on the YM, just as we were on the ES and as we are on the Russell. We had a slightly higher gap open on the Russell last night. A retracement to the BBC. Remember, price always reverts to the mean, and the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. There we go. See, when we're below and we pull up, resistance, resistance, resistance. But we know eventually it will trade through, and then it retraces, and it's support. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, the pullback holds. Still haven't made it all the way up to the long target. These are not normal market conditions. It's going to probably take a week or two for things to settle down. All right, on the NQ, we had the gap higher open, but we just went sideways. We did pull back to the BBC, the pullback held. And last week, I drew in these windows of opportunity, and last night the gap higher open made it almost to the top of the window that I drew live on this broadcast Friday. Or was it Thursday I drew them? Anyway, oh, it was probably Thursday night. Oh, it was Thursday night when I drew them in the members only workshop. So look what we got going on here. Price is below the BBC. We got red and falling. Okay, we found support right here. You see this? Support where? Right at that spot where red turns to blue. That bounced us up to the step line and red and falling. So we're about to have a double bottom. But notice the step line is about to cross from the left side to the right side of red and falling. If it does that, then we'll get a pullback to the BBC in most cases. Okay. But if we take out this low right here, then we've got clear sailing down to this low, then down to this low, and then down to this low. Okay. This was the highest weekly zone last week for the NQ. Crude oil. Here's where we opened last night. Dropped to the zone, consolidated. When price encounters a weekly trading zone, 70% of the time you'll get consolidation, 20% of the time you'll get rejection, 10% of the time you'll get the slice. So we consolidated along the zone until about 4 a.m. Eastern this morning, and then we made our drop to the short target. We never had any reason to be concerned about the long target because we would have to overcome this zone, which we expect to be resistance till proven otherwise. But we dropped all the way down to this zone from last week. And what are we doing? Consolidating. That's what happens 70% of the time when price touches a weekly zone. It can be 2 candle consolidation, it can be 2 hours, sometimes it can be half a day. So what's most likely to happen here? Price is attempting to retrace back to the BBC. Remember, price always reverts to the mean. Gold, we already hit our lowest weekly trading zone this week, which is incredibly unusual. What's the low here? 2618.4. The lowest weekly zone for gold is 2619/2620. Now notice the step line has crossed, so we're probably going to get a run back up to the BBC. It is beyond unusual to hit the lowest weekly trading zone on a Monday. Sometimes it happens by a Tuesday morning, and when that happens, it's a heads up that by the end of the week, price will probably be at the other end of the spectrum. So that step line is crossed, so look for a retracement back up to the zone, or to the BBC, which is currently at 2645.5. This was the open. We're below the BBC and we just dropped like a hot rock right down to the target. Let's see, this candle opened at 2691 and it dropped to 82, so that's right there. That one candle is $900 per contract traded. And now, even though this is last week's zone, look what we did. We consolidated for hours and then made this plunge. Silver, not looking much better. Well, yeah, a little better. We open, hit the BBC, the pullback held, or the move up held, the rally up to the BBC held, and that set us right down to the short target. Support will always send the market looking for resistance, which it found at the previous bearish cross. See where the red line got below the green line? That's a bearish cross. That's also the high of today's session. See how the long target lines right up with that cross. Support to resistance, down to support, consolidated at the zone, drop below it, step line has crossed. See, on the way down is the perfect stack: price, step line, red and falling, BBC. But now that the step line is crossed red and falling, look for a move back up to the BBC. And that's all the markets. So let me see if Michael is ready. Okay, sit tight. Michael will be with us in just a moment. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the question box for me or for Michael, because he will be here in just a moment. Yeah, I'm going to put you on hold just a second and check on him. Alright guys, I'm not getting a response, which is unusual. Give it a few more minutes. I don't know if he's having trouble logging in, or lost electricity, or lost internet, or... But look at what's happening here on the daily. So that red body building. Now remember, the 62% fib extension on the way up, it was resistance. On the way back down, it's potential support. If we take that out, then the next support area would be the low of Friday, right here. Then the 50% fib extension and the step line, that'd be support times 2. Then the 38% fib extension, and then blue and climbing, and then the BBC. And below that, the 24% fib extension and the 24% fib retracement, which is that line right there. All right, guys, I'm not getting any response from Michael. I don't know what happened. But anyway, if you want to become a member, go to mytradingiq.com, watch some of the videos, get familiar with who we are, what we do, blah, 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 and then send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, just put, I'd like to become a member. Valerie will send you an email with information and a link so that you can become a passport holder. Once you're a passport holder, you'll have 2 hours of live training in live markets every trading day. It's an interactive environment. 9 out of 10 new traders fail simply because they don't have a teacher. Oh, there you are.
I am here.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all
Sorry.
right. I just didn't. I thought maybe something happened.
Yeah, something did happen. I got stuck in a line.
Oh.
But it's all good now.
Okay, we'll go ahead and I'll finish up whatever I was saying. Once you're done, go ahead and grab it.
Okay. All right.
If you're ready.
I am ready. Here, I'll bring it over here. And I won't be able to go through the whole thing because the website's still not ready. But I'll be able to go through all the trades and all that now. And I can say this.
All you have to do is when it brings up the page, is just where it says advanced or whatever. Just click it and it'll take you to the site. The site's perfectly safe. They just have to get this certificate switched over.
It's taking me a complete different place right here. Do you see it?
Then you need to use a different browser or something.
Oh yeah, this is Edge. Let me try it with my other browser over here.
Because mine
Edge always seems to be the first one to screw up.
Right to it.
There we go. Yep, it's going right to it on this one. So here, I can do this one. Yep.
Okay. And
right,
it's got the security. Does it have the security certificate?
No, it came right on.
Okay. All right.
No certificate at all. So it should be all good.
Okay.
Good. All right. Yeah, Edge seems to be the first one to screw up with everything that I'm doing all the time. Yeah. Edge seems to be the first one to go bad.
Wonder how Microsoft ever became.
Well, way back in the day.
Well, you know,
Monday.
I mean, it's all,
Say, hey, these are repetitive tasks that everybody does.
yeah,
What if we create a computer that everybody can use,
yeah.
and then just automate the same tasks everybody can do, and then make them pay a monthly fee for it forever? Anyway, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 11th day of November, 2024. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on this purple button right here. Now that should bring you to the registration page. I'm going to click on it and go to the registration page. Should bring you to this registration page where all that we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. These multiple choice questions, and right down here at the bottom, if you have NinjaTrader and you want to use Ninja Charts, give us your machine ID. If you have TradingView, give us your login ID or your username. We really need that for TradingView because you can't get the full set of indicators if you don't give that to us. So we need to get that. Okay, if you don't know how to get TradingView, go here to mytradingiq.com, go to trading platforms, and there is a video right here, 3 minutes long. Tells you how to get TradingView. Click on this link right here and get it. They have a big sale going on right now for anybody that's upgrading from monthly to annually. I'm not sure it's everywhere though. I know they did have it. I don't see it right here, but I know they did have it. Last week it was 50% off. They normally have another sale that's 70% off too. For anybody that's new joining, if you join the annual, they usually have a deal for that. Okay, so that's how you do all that stuff. Now the spreadsheet is over here on this other browser right here. Wow, the markets are just tanking. Big stuff. All right, so if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 11th day of November 2024. We're up 120 ticks on the NQ, minus 10 on the Russell, plus 6 on the YM, and minus 20 on the ES. Put us at plus 330 in the morning session. Today, it took 3 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $2,640, and we took a total of 11 trades. So on the month now, we are up $2,430. That's over 7 trading days, averaging $347 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year, we're at $102,800. That's over 211 business days, averaging $487 with 1 contract per morning session. Okay, so on the month, we're at 347 average. On the year, we're at 487 average. So our month is starting off kind of slow. We haven't had any big days yet, real big days anyway. But it's all good. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get the goal for the day, the goal being $100 per contract, and you were to add 1 contract per month, if you were to do that for 20 consecutive days, you would have $2,000 in profit. At that point, you add another contract. And then you do it for another 20 consecutive days. And then you have $4,000 in profit, and you add another contract. And then you do it for another 20 consecutive days. And you have $6,000 in profit, and you add another contract. That's what this is all about. Right? If you were to do that so far this year, you would have made $180,653 so far this year in 62 hours, just under 62 hours of trading. $180,000. That averages out to $2,921.62 per hour. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Just got to be consistently profitable over and over and over again. Now, let's get into the charts. We didn't have that many trades today. On the YM particularly, I think we only had 1 right there. And we got 6 ticks profit on that one. I didn't miss all that much today. You see how it started out? It wasn't coming out of the oversold in here. I didn't miss all that much as far as trades go. During the break, I don't think I missed much during the break either. No, it got all sideways in here. This was right at the end of the morning session. They all got kind of sideways, and they had to break out of that. They're out of it now, but they still didn't give a trade setup. All right. There's still no trade setups here for the YM. We got the 1 trade there with 6 ticks in profit. The Russell, we again didn't have a lot of trades there, but we didn't miss much. We started out with this one over here, which was a break even right at the beginning. Got a break even on that. It looks like I missed one right here that would have been break even or profitable. We got this one, got a break even on it. We need to wait for the higher swing. I didn't take this. If I would have, it would have stopped me out. Then we got over here. We did take this one right here, And that was actually, I think I got this in the wrong place. We took this one right here. That's a proper trade, and it stopped me out, minus 25. Then we took this one toward the end of the session. You see there were none coming out of the oversold here. So we took this one right here when it did come out of the oversold, and we got 15 ticks profit on that. And then we get into the break, and there was one trade right here during the break, right there. And that's it. It's almost setting up another trade right now, but there just weren't a ton of trades today. I don't know what we had for news today. Today is the 11th day, so we could be getting into the grain report. I think should be coming out pretty soon. The ES, we just had a couple of trades. This one right here, I shouldn't have taken for a couple of reasons. One, it's going down into, I didn't have the weekly trading zones on when I actually took that trade, but it's going into a zone. And two, the ribbon was all crunched up. So I kind of screwed up on that one. I took that one and stopped out on it. And then I took this one and stopped out on that to the tick. It did end up going down, but it stopped me out first. So we were minus 20 on the ES. We didn't have a single profitable trade this morning on the ES. Looking through the rest of the session, it doesn't look like there was much at all here. One right here, that was a nice trade. One right here, that was a nice trade. And one over here, that was a nice trade. So during the break, there were 3 nice trades, but during the morning session, there was not much to go around. Okay. Now on the NQ, let's slide this all the way back here. All the way back here. Here we go. On the NQ, this is where we started out. Now, I took a trade right here, and I got 48 ticks on it, but the chart hadn't printed all these yet, and I thought it was coming out of the overbought, but it wasn't, so I didn't count that one. I got 48 ticks on that one. Then I took one that was a valid trade. I guess this was one that I took that wasn't a valid trade. Took one that was a valid trade that I was able to count, and I got 48 ticks on that. Then I got another one for 20 ticks, even to 68. And then over here, we got another one for 12 or something like that, I think. 14. That got us to 72. And then we had a break even there, and we had a 48 tick win right there. That got us up to 120. And that was it. So the NQ was nice and tradable today. There were some more trades in here that I didn't get. One right here. That looked like to be a nice trade. And it did get sideways at the end, just like everything got sideways here at the end. You see how everything went really crooked? I mean, if I spread it out, you can see all this stuff right here at the end. The last half an hour was just junk. I did break out of it right here. Gave a trade right there that would have been a break even for me had I taken it. Then didn't give another trade until over here, which would have been a profitable trade. I couldn't have done anything else until all the way over here, which would have been a nice profitable trade. And then right there, I might have done that anyway, which would have been a good trade. And then one more right here. So the NQ was the only thing that was really tradable, and still is the only thing that's really tradable. I guess the ES is about to give a trade right here, but it's got to come off a lower swing, and it hasn't done that yet. So the Russell's about to give a trade, the YM's about to give a trade, and the NQ is actually giving a trade right here, where we currently are. Yeah. Yeah, that is all that. So we don't have a trade yet on the Russell, but looking at the Russell, it's 423 down to 403 is what you're looking at over there. This is what it looks like on the DOM. Oops, sorry. I did that wrong. That was the YM. That was the YM. It's not the Russell. That's what it looks like on the YM DOM. The numbers are right and all that stuff was right, but it was on the YM DOM. Sorry. That brings it back over. Here it is. Okay, and the Russell. Russell is the next one, and that's got a high of 47.6. So you'll be looking at 27.6. 27.6. What am I talking about? 45. 45, that's what I mean. Sorry. That was going to be 45.7. 45.7. This is what it looks like on the DOM. Okay. 45.7. As long as the high stays where it is right there at 47.7. And that's where that one's going to be. The ES has got a trade here. The NQ had a trade a few minutes ago that I took, and here's the NQ one. The look, I have trades on all four markets right now. I'll see if I can manage this. We just got triggered in on that one. Let me hit this. All right, so we have this NQ trade that triggered in, and we're going to lock in 4 ticks in profit on that. We have the ES trade right here that should go down to 1750 right now. That should go down here to the swing low. We need 4 ticks in profit on that one. We have the Russell trade that needs the down close right here. We have our order waiting. All right, so we just triggered into the Russell trade, and we have the same thing going over here with the YM, waiting for the down close on the YM. Now the Russell trade, the ES needs 4 ticks in profit to bump the stop. I'm going to lock in 2 ticks on that. Over here on the NQ trade, I am going to lock in a whole bunch, and I'm going to go to break even on the Russell trade. I am going to lock in 4 on the ES trade, and we got all 48 ticks here on the NQ trade. So the NQ's out with 48 ticks in profit. The Russell, I'm going to lock in 10. The ES, I have 4 locked in right now, and we're in the YM. We're in the YM right now, and the YM needs to give us 10 ticks in profit before we can move the stop to break even. So we've got 48 ticks over here on the NQ. We have 4 locked in here so far. We have 10 locked in here so far. We have nothing on the YM so far. I'm just going to slide these around a little bit so you can see the actual charts a little better. All right, so we're out with 10 there, we're out with 4 there, and we're in the YM now. This was a lot of trading. All right, so 48 here, 4 here, 10 here, and this, our stop needs to be 25 ticks away. There it is, 25 ticks away.
That was a great job.
Sewing, but I managed to keep it all together. All right, so we had a blue one there. We had.
And for some reason, the only one I traded was the Dow.
Really,
well.
The only one that's not doing anything right now.
Oh well.
It's okay. It's coming around. Yeah. Everything is going down, so it should go down with everything else.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting
dragging
a
little
big
bit.
drop. Yeah.
Right, it should go down to the prior swing low, which is down here at 376. So that would definitely be enough to get the stop to break even and be right down there. That's what it should do, as long as these other ones don't bottom out right here. Now, I kind of screwed up on the ES trade because we didn't come off a lower swing right there. I was thinking we were coming off of that one right there. And that may have been the one that I was looking at. YM, I know we did that right. The Russell, I know we did that right. It needs to put in a lower swing. The NQ, I'm not sure that was coming off a lower swing either. If it was this one right here, that was good. If it was this one over here, then it was not. But it was a busy few minutes. I actually recorded that too. I'm still recording it. I'm waiting for the YM trade to finish over here.
Be sure and send it to me so I can post it.
I will. You see what we have right here on the YM? We have the midpoint, that dashed red line right there. That is a midpoint between the 2 weekly trading zones. You see how it came down, got below it, now it's acting as resistance. It acted as support, went sideways, got below it, now it's acting as resistance. The good thing about this is that we have the ribbon right here. The bad thing about it is that the ribbon is right here, one tick beyond my stop. So, and in this case, some people who really don't have a trading plan, they might say, oh, well, that's no big deal. I'll just move my stop up 5 ticks. That is the death knell of trading right there.
Yep.
You never move your stop further away, ever. You have to have a plan for every trade when you get into it and accept the risk as soon as you get into the trade. If you move your stop further away, it's just a matter of time before you blow up your account. I know that sounds really bad, but it's true.
It's a fact. Yep.
Okay, the NQ is about to give us another trade over here, so we might get another one over there. 22 points. Just subtract 8 from the top of the bar. Right, that's all we have to do. Sorry, I'm watching the YM trade here. Let me slide the YM over a little bit like this. And slide this over so we can watch that there and watch the NQ over here. NQ's now got 130 down to 22 is what you're selling on that. We did stop out on the YM. That figures. So I'll put a red one over there on that. Red one over here on that. And get ready for the NQ trade. The NQ now has a high here at 33.50. So you're looking at 20. Do the math, Michael. 25.50. There it is. I can do it. I just gotta be told. So 8 points from the top. I guess the top is 0.25. So 8 points from the top is going to be right here at 25.25. All right, now the ES did not really put in a lower swing, so we're not going to do anything with that. The Russell didn't put a lower swing, so we're not going to do anything with that. The YM stopped us out, so we're definitely not going to do anything with that. And that's all we have. Excuse me, right now. This did not put in a lower swing. Okay, so we're in the NQ. Now the NQ needs to go 4 points in profit. It's got to get right down to here to get the stop to break even. Okay, 15, 16 ticks, 4 points in profit to get the stop to break even. And we're just about there. That now has the center point between the trading zones. It's working on that right there. You see that? This has a 36 tick stop on it. It should have a 36 tick stop on it. We'll take a slip. There it is. It really should push down and get down here, all the way down here to 21,106 is what we should see on that. Okay. Now, none of the other markets actually put in a lower swing on that last move down. That could mean we're at a bottoming spot right here. So what was the low on this? 22 in a minute 25. So it only went 12 ticks into profit. It didn't go 15 or 16. It went really close to it. But if this bar closes down, we'll have our stop at break even. And if it closes down, we should actually get the full 48 ticks out of it too. Sorry, I'm just catching my breath. I've been going nonstop since we finished the morning session. Here we go. Getting down there now. It wants to push down there. It's got to close down below the midpoint right here. The dashed red line. It's mid between the two weekly trading zones. Definitely want to close below that, not to close above it. Here it goes. Stop to break even. We hit 21, I thought, right? Didn't we? No, 21 and a quarter. 15, 16 ticks. That's good enough. Stops to break even right here. And it should, if we get this down close that I'm looking for right now, we should get all 48 ticks out of this. There it is. It should go all the way down here to the prior swing low, to 106. I'm just going to lock in 12 ticks right there. Okay. And this one should push all the way down here to the 48. Okay, I'm gonna leave my stop there at plus 12 and we'll let it ride out. It should continue the trend. And if it doesn't, I get 12 ticks. If it does, I get 48. It should actually do more than that. But you see these little leg lengths that it's done in here with the pullback? This pullback was deeper, more like this pullback here. So this is the leg length that you're actually looking at from here to here. That's what it should be doing right now. I'll draw it for you so you can see it a little better. It should be going from here to here right now. That's what it should be repeating. So that would put it below the prior swing low down here at 21,100. That's what we should be seeing. Now, it's possible it's going to take me out at plus 12 ticks, and that's okay. It did take me out at plus 12 ticks, but that doesn't mean it should not do this. Now, there is one little anomaly that's happening right now. Okay, I just want to point out to all of you. Let me put that right color. The little anomaly is that none of these put in a lower swing. This didn't, this didn't, this didn't, and this didn't. And when that happens across the board like that, it is often a bottoming spot. See them start putting in the lower swings right here, or we're going to see everything turn around. Ribbon's going to get all crunched up and stuff's going to start trading above the ribbons, and we'll start turning around, at least for a little while. Now, if we were to go and look at these things on a bigger time frame, we'll go out here and look at it on this time frame. DT Pro, I'm going to miss you, guy. For more than a decade. We're going to have to change. That's not fair. They get to force that on us. All right. So this is the move down today. Let's look at the whole thing. This is the move up today.
And you're about to hit that bullish cross If we look left
Yep.
there, there's the blue
Yep,
line.
right here.
No, well,
Right
yeah.
there.
Yep.
That's it right there. The MA1 BBC.
Oh, that's
right.
right. That previous pullback held that area.
Yeah.
I'm
This
just
is it
looking at the
right
green
here.
line.
And that's perfect. That's exactly where we are right now. But let's look at a couple other things. This is the day's action. This is a 50% retracement of the day's action. This is the MA1 BBC cross that Dwayne was just talking about right here. And that's where we are right now. So this is a perfect spot for it to bounce, really. Bounce and then give us another leg like this. If it's going to be bullish today, if it's going to continue to be bullish, this is just a retracement of the way the day started. This is what it should do as of right now. If it's going to continue to be bullish, we'd be looking at prices up here by the end of the day. Oops, that's going the wrong way. I guess I can flip that around, can't I? There. Just that way. And this is what we should be looking at. If the markets are gonna move up from here, if they're gonna move up, look, it went right down to the weekly trading zone to the tick. If they are gonna move up from here, then that's what we should be looking at on the upside. Well, that starting point is now down here, but that's what we'd be looking at on the upside. All right, now I don't know if it's going to. We could be doing 100% retracement of today's action right now, and that wouldn't surprise me either. But that's what it looks like, and this is on the Russell. Now on the ES is doing a similar thing. This is the whole day's action right here. From here up to here. The ES isn't hitting a weekly trading zone, but it's hitting the midpoint on a 30-minute. Okay, the midpoint between these two zones. Right here is right there. So if the ES came down to right here and stopped, and Dwayne, that's probably what you were looking at. The difference, I was looking at the Russell. You were probably looking over here at the ES. This one right here on the ES is what you were looking at, I think.
Yeah, I'm short the Dow right now.
Okay. Well, let's look at the Dow.
But I'm getting out of it.
The Dow is similar.
Yeah, it's right
Good.
at the BBC, so I'm just gonna.
Yep, it's right at the BBC, and if we look at the whole day in the Dow,
that was a nice trade.
That was a really nice trade right there. If we look at the whole day in the Dow, that's from here. That was actually yesterday. So somewhere right in here. Hang on, let me move this down. And somewhere right in there. So we just got down to the midpoint of that and the BBC. Good ways of the weekly trading zone, but we're right at the midpoint here. It's the midpoint between the weekly trading zones, and it's the 50% retracement of the day's action. So there's all the reason in the world for things to bounce here on every one of these markets. And as I said that, they all went and put in lower swings. So the whole reason I went through all that stuff was because I wanted to find a reason for them to be bouncing right here, none of them to put in the lower swings. But while I was doing that, they all went and put in lower swings. So they all have trades again. The ES has got another trade coming up right here. If it gives us a down close, 1775 down to 1575. What time is it? 124. Yeah, we could have time for all these trades. The NQ has got a high here of 19, so you'd be selling 11 on that one. The Russell's right weekly trading zone. You're not going to touch that. The YM didn't put in a lower swing. So we have these two potential trades right here. One on the ES and one on the NQ. I think those are our two potential trades right now. The ES has got the high here at 1775, so my order is in the right spot, and we just got triggered into both. Okay, so the NQ should go down to the weekly trading zone, should go down through the prior swing low down to the weekly trading zone. It's got to go down to right here, 675 to get the stop to break even, and the ES just has to go 4 ticks into profit to get the stop to break even. So this is 4 points, this is 4 ticks. Right. Stop should be 36 ticks away, and it's 37. And my stop on this one should be 10 ticks away, and it's 11. There we go. All right, so we'll see how we do with these two trades. We can't do anything with the Russell right here. Can't do anything with the Russell because the Russell's going into a weekly trading zone. So I'm ready to hit break even over here on this one. I'm ready to tap that break even button on the NQ. And the ES hasn't really gone into profit very much yet. It did go in just a little bit, but it didn't go 4 ticks, I don't think, not from my entry point. It went 2 ticks from my entry point. All right. So anyone that's watching on YouTube, I don't think I've gone through this yet. If you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. I'll just talk about it because it's on my other screen. Go to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. That's going to bring you to the registration page. On the registration page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. There are 5 multiple choice questions. You can fill those out. Down at the bottom, there's a place to put in your machine ID for NinjaTrader. If you have Ninja and you want to use Ninja charts, if you're not going to use Ninja charts, we don't need that machine ID. Right? Don't bother with it if you're not going to use Ninja charts. And just talk that on both of those at the same time. If you want to use TradingView, then give us your TradingView login ID or your TradingView username. We need that to enable the indicators for you. That's all. Okay. All we do is enable the indicators. We don't have any kind of control over your account or anything like that. It just gives us the information to enable the indicators so you can have all of this when you start your trial. Right. So the Russell looks like it's going to give us a trade right here. I just tapped that on both of those after getting all those positive trades. This, again, is why you quit trading when you get the goal for the day. And look, that leg length I put in there earlier, look what we did. Exactly that leg length. Exactly that leg length. It should be trying to do that again right now. And I think the markets are ready to bottom right here. That's what I think. That's why this Russell trade is a little questionable. We only have 2 minutes left, so I'm probably going to skip the Russell trade. So I want to go out here and look at one other thing, well, a couple of things with you first. Bitcoin, all-time highs on Bitcoin. What's the high of the day on that right now?
85,000.
It is. Click on this one. 85,000 even. 85,000 even. Tell me there weren't a lot of things up there selling 85,000.
Michael Saylor just bought a whole bunch more. Mr.
MicroStrategy.
Yep.
See, so yeah, that's what I thought.
I posted the article in the Breeze channel.
That's amazing right there.
See how much it was.
Amazing. We'll go out one more. And the gold. Now we want to look gold. I drew in all this stuff last week about where it could potentially go. And you can see it's gone through.
Mr.
I don't know right now.
Acquired an additional 27,200 BTC for $2 billion. They now hold 279,420 BTC. Acquired at an average price of 42,672.
So
he's doubled his money.
They're kind of like buying an ETF.
Yeah, it's what they call it a. It was in one of the articles I read to the guys this morning at the beginning of the broadcast. Some kind of like an ETF proxy, but they used something proxy. But anyway, a hedge fund proxy for Bitcoin. That's how they called it in the article.
Yeah. Oh, you can see. I mean, like all their assets are in Bitcoin. So, if you buy MicroStrategy stock, then you're basically buying a whole bunch of Bitcoin.
Now, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, he converted their currency to Bitcoin, and El Salvador, which was deeply in debt, now has 116 million in profits from their Bitcoin holdings.
Crazy. They took a chance.
Wow.
The United States would have done that. They had to suck it up when it dropped down to 17,000.
Oh, yeah.
Because they did that before it dropped.
That was a nail biter, yeah.
That had to be an uncomfortable period for them. They stuck out, and I think it's going to pay off for them. All right, it is time, Dwayne.
All right.
It is 1:30 already.
I'm ready.
So, let me bring over the other screen. Hang on a sec. Let me get that. Here it is. The screen, the other browser. Here it is. If you have not taken the free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. That's not bringing it up. Go to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button. When you click on the purple button, what's that?
It said Lander.
Yeah, it didn't come up this time. Lander. Yeah, that usually means it's not going to come up properly. It goes to Lander. That's a thing that GoDaddy does. But
I'll call him back in a little bit if it doesn't straighten out.
Yeah, see, it's going to Lander right now. That's a thing that GoDaddy does when they got things messed up.
Try typing in HTTPS in front of it.
Okay, there. It is HTTPS right there. Let me just take off the Lander and we'll do that. Nope, same thing.
Is this your Chrome browser or Edge?
This is Brave, actually.
Brave.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Brave
call him and ask him what the problem is.
It did work at the beginning of the session. It did work.
Yeah, I know it did. Yeah, that's why I don't understand.
Yep, nothing's bringing it up.
All right, I'll call him and straighten it out.
I think I have on the clipboard. I think I have the link on the clipboard to take the free trial. Actually, the thing I have on the clipboard is not to take the free trial, but it's to get into here. Let me go get the thing on the clipboard to take the free trial.
Guys, just go to mytradingiq.com and if it doesn't resolve immediately, just wait 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. We had to do some back-end stuff, move some stuff around today, so that's why there's a hiccup in it. But from my Chrome browser, it goes right to it. So
let me see. Here's the thing right here. I'll give you the link in here. Copy your registration link. I'll paste it over here in the chat box. That is the link to take the free trial. I just pasted it in there, and I can paste it in the question box too. If somebody asked any questions, there it is. It's working here.
So I'll let them know.
Joseph said
that it's working on Chrome, just not on the other ones.
Yeah, well, let me try it on the other ones. Let me do this. TradingIQ.com. Okay, it's working on this one.
Oh, good.
So, and this is Edge. It's working on Edge. It's working on Chrome. It was working on Brave, but now it's not working on Brave. So, I don't know. Whatever. Try a different browser if it's not working. Go to TradingIQ.com. Click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on that purple button. It's going to bring you to this registration page. Just fill it out. Okay. That's all you have to do. And with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Okay.
You are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. My chef was yelling that breakfast was ready. So,
Breakfast. I guess it is earlier over there.
Well, it's 11:30. We only eat 2 meals a day. One at noon, one at 6.
Okay.
Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 3 minutes and 1 trade to get to $2,640.
That's a marvelous Monday. Good job.
It sure is. Thank you.
All right, guys, as I was telling you, when you become a passport holder, you're going to get 2 hours of live training every trading day in an interactive environment. 9 out of 10 traders don't have that, and that's why they fail. On top of that, you get private mentoring at no extra charge. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder, they're fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF. Doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. Never-ending cycle. So, once you learn our strategy, you can trade whatever you want. Individual stocks, it doesn't matter. You'll also get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You get the concierge trade alerts every evening, the second they're published. shortly after the Globex Open. Every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you'll get the weekly trading zones. Get them on your chart because they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change. And you'll be able to attend the members-only workshop every Thursday night. And you'll get the golden key that opens all the private channels in Telegram, including the vault that has hundreds of previous members-only workshops. Do you need to watch them all? No. Just show up in for class every morning, ask lots of questions, and you'll be fine. But it's nice to know you got all that at your fingertips if you want to use it. Okay? All right. Let's wrap it up with our good word for the day. And again, to become a member, just send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, just say, I want to become a partner. I want to become a member. And guess what? Valerie will send you an email with some information and the link that you can click to become a passport holder. It's a seamless one-day process. You'll be up and running in no time. All right, our good word for the day is integrity part 2. We started this on Friday. Proverbs 20, verse 7. The godly walk with integrity. Blessed are their children who follow them. Here are 6 ingredients which are always found in lasting success. 1. Information. If you don't stay informed, you will be left behind. 2. Intuition. This is sometimes referred to as to know in your knower. You just know that you know. Number 3, initiative. This is when you are willing to step out in faith and act on what you know intuitively. 4, intentionality. This is when you are willing to set specific goals and timelines for reaching them. 5, intensity. This calls for more than starting power. It requires staying power. And number 6, integrity. This is the glue that holds the previous 5 things together, and it's rooted in that private life you develop alone with God. We often hear architects, engineers, and builders say, this building has structural integrity. What do they mean? That the public beauty of a tall skyscraper relies on its private, unseen foundation that is dug deep into the earth and solidly constructed. It is that hidden life of a building that brings structural integrity. Likewise, it's the hidden life of a fruit tree, the unseen root system that digs deep into the earth, that produces those juicy, delectable fruits. And so it is with you. Integrity must be rooted in your private life. Don't wait until you're thrust into the public arena before paying attention to your integrity, for then you will have waited until it's too late. Your talent may bring you success, but it takes character to protect and maintain your success. The truth is that when your integrity is rooted in your private world, it's reflected in your personal world, your professional world, and your public world. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.